White men are lecturing people of color because the vast majority, actually, any semblance of diversity comes from this side of the aisle. Dedicated Islamic areas are a threat to America.
That is someone who can't accept that America is a multiracial, multi-religious place.
Okay, these all just happen to be comments from the fearless leader of Turning Point USA.
They're gonna do it until they can't do it no more. That's what Trump's doing. He's just, living the high life until they can't live it out no more.
Is that correct?
The time the gentleman has expired. The gentleman can respond if he wants.
My testimony from that proceeding stands for itself.
Yep. Say bullshit. Let's all stand by the bull. Hey everybody, this is Gene F. Gene Faison Milford here for your creature comfort, and today I wanted to do another reaction video. This one's gonna be to our sister yet again. You're the queen, you're the goddess, you're the black everything. Her energy in politics and the setup, and whenever she be speaking on the House floor, I try to get my verbiage here, but whenever she be speaking around, what she been doing, her vocalize. Okay, it's gonna be Representative Jasmine Crockett. Don't use Dr. King to whitewash racism. I hear that.
Time, on SPLC, and we've not addressed the elephant in the room, the literal elephant in the room. Mm-hmm. The vast majority of the people on that side of the aisle, and for those of you that are at home, let me tell you, when I say that side of the aisle, I'm talking about the Republicans, the ones that brought this hearing. And again, you've heard that this is not the first hearing, but the vast majority of them are white men. White men are lecturing people of color because the vast majority, actually, any semblance of diversity comes from this side of the aisle.
Exactly.
You want to tell people of color who is fighting for who? People of color do not feel comfortable or welcomed within your party. That's why you have to parade someone who has the name Dr. King attached to them so that people can be confused, because I have been reading the comments online and people are like, who is this Dr. King? Because you want them to believe that somehow she espouses who Dr. King was, yet you've yet to have MLK the third come in here. You've yet to have Dr. Bernice King, the ones that were actually raised by Dr. King, the ones that actually probably understand the teachings of Dr. King. And I just want to be clear, because I want to talk to y'all about what the Dr. King had to say about racism, so that y'all don't get it twisted and don't get it confused just because you see the name sitting in this room. Our nation was born in genocide when it embraced the doctrine that the original American, the Indian, was an inferior race. That was from his 1963 book, Why We Can't Wait.
When I look into the history, you can't help but look at the indigenous community as well. And their history is suppressed by white nationalism and all this stuff. But it's like, it gets tired. It's like, oh, you were colonizers and this and that. And they don't care. It's like, that's what they like. They like the fact that they dominated these people. They don't give a to them foreign here. They like the fact that they can say whatever they want, that they're real Americans. I mean, no, you're not. Just shut up. Why are we even listening to them? They just speak out of their sometimes when it comes to what they talk about. But at the end of the day, I really feel from the indigenous community, the Native American community. I know that the reservations often are reservations. When I was young, we went to Oklahoma and I went to a powwow. What about these people that are so loud and strong and outgoing and more vibrant, beautiful, fabulous in their messaging, in their community, and in their gatherings? White people are jealous of that. But at the end of the day, what are we going to do? Marginalized communities do if they are not strong, if they are not together, when they are being beaten by you.
Book, Why We Can't Wait. He also said, in the final analysis, racism is evil because its ultimate logic is genocide. If one says that I am not good enough to live next door to him, or to have a good, decent job, or to go to school with him merely because of my race, he is saying consciously or unconsciously that I do not deserve to exist. This was from his 1967 speech, The Other America. So just to be clear, y'all don't seem like y'all even understand what a hate organization is. So I went to Google to help you out. A hate group is an organized group whose beliefs, practices, and primary purpose are centered on advocating malice, hostility, or violence towards people based on their immutable race, religion, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, or disability.
I love how she
So I know some of y'all are, caping for Charlie Kirk, because I done heard y'all talk about his organization over and over and over. So I'm not finna play with anybody who's gonna play with my time. So I'm going directly to Miss McCord. Professor, let me put some respect on your name. All right. If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. Does that sound like a hater or not?
That sounds like a racial stereotype.
Okay, sounds good to me. We made a huge mistake when we passed the Civil Rights Act in the mid-1960s.
That sounds like someone who still adheres to racist views.
Okay, America has freedom of religion, of course, but we should be frank. Large, dedicated Islamic areas are a threat to America.
That is someone who can't accept that America is a multiracial, multi-religious place.
Okay, these all just happen to be comments from the fearless leader of Turning Point USA, so I could see where SPLC was going. I also think that it's so interesting that right now, just for those sitting at home, you may not know that oversight is not having any hearings right now because the Republicans don't want to deal with the Epstein file. So they have shut down all of oversight committee hearings, right?
They keep doing it.
So we've got an indictment for SPLC. I have still yet to see an indictment on any Epstein defendant. Not a one, but okay.
She's been true to the victims.
And we want to talk about what happened in Charlottesville, and we are so upset about Charlottesville. All of a sudden, I would be interested to know which one of you had something to say about Charlottesville when it happened, because I don't think that y'all were saying those same things. In fact, our fearless leader at the time said that there were pretty fine people on both sides. You were okay with the tiki torches. You were okay with it. But I digress. I'm going to move on to Texas in my last 24 seconds. In your testimony before the Texas House of Representatives, you read aloud a series of messages between you and other whistleblowers, basically explaining the corruption happening directed by Attorney General Ken Paxton. On page 82, lines 5 through 11, you list all the corruption that Ken Paxton directed you and others to carry out, to quote, demanding that we investigate facially bogus.
All these people that are on the top that are using their power to get the money, to get the influence, and trying to enrich themselves. At the end of the day, they're just living the high life. Maybe they don't even value their life to where that they know they're going to get in trouble at the end of the day. They're going to live their best wealthy life doing what they're doing, and they're going to do it until they can't do it no more. That's what Trump's doing. He's just, living the high life until they can't live it out no more. How do you know that they don't want to?
Facially bogus charges, refusing to take our advice that there is no prosecutable offense, demanding that we hire outside counsel, and authorizing an improper fishing expedition. Is that correct?
The time the gentleman has expired. The gentleman can respond if you want.
My testimony from that proceeding stands for itself.
Yep. I said words and words I said bullshit. That's all I stand by the bull. Okay, get the fuck out. Hope you have a nice day. Let me know what you think. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.